find. Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
It's been a while, but we're back again. Butch On Sports is here, boys and girls, with another edition of the goodies that you just can't get enough of. On Over the Hump Day, Wednesday, yes, indeed, give you some sports news that you definitely can't get enough of. I am Simply Butch, and as always, thanks for tuning in. Let's get to some sports news. Again, it's pitiful that I might be saying this, but let's do this. Detroit Tigers played this afternoon against the Los Angeles Angels, California Angels, Anaheim Angels, whatever you want to call the Angels. They beat up the Tigers by a score of 6-0. I figured that's sufficient for your FYI to know what they're doing. Yes, Detroit Tigers lose again. I definitely will have a day off tomorrow, which will be Thursday, before they return home to take on a weekend series with the Minnesota Twins, and I do believe on Sunday, give Jack Morris his just due. I think it's going to be also Latin America Day on Saturday, really, where you get to see all the Latin American players being honored at Comerica Park. And they wear the special uniforms. What can I say? Let's move on here. Detroit Pistons announced that they have signed assistant general manager. Sachin Gupta has been named the assistant general manager. Gupta had spent last season as a special advisor to the Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey. His second stint with the organization, a Boston area native, began his NBA career in 2006 as Morey's first hire, laying the foundation work in the team's extensive analytics undertaking, in which the Rockets would be later renowned for. In addition, responsibilities as an analyst, Gupta is also assistant in managing the team's salary cap during his 6-year tenure in Houston. Prior to joining the NBA, Gupta spent 2 years with ESPN, where he had a hand in fostering basketball analytics movement and also advancing NBA metrics on ESPN.com before their use had become widespread across the league. Am I saying that this guy's a groundbreaker for analytics? Maybe so. Maybe not. Also, while he was at ESPN, he also became well-versed in the CBAs, which developed widely popular in the NBA trade mechanism. I mean, he knew how to break down figures like a hawk knew how to break down slop. And what can I say? What can I say more? He is new for the Detroit Pistons. Very new. Very new indeed. By the way, speaking of ESPN, today is August 8th, 2018. Every year at this time, for the last 3 years, and this is going on the third year, ESPN on ESPN2 has turned ESPN2 into ESPN 8, the Ojo. So you get some special programming like the Sumo Wrestling Championship, the Bunny Hopping Extravaganza, the Cheese Rolling Contest, all kind of goofy stuff. The chess boxing exhibition, and right now, if you turn on the ESPN2 or as they call it today, ESPN Ojo, ESPN 8, yes, you'll be watching dodgeball live coverage of the World Dodgeball Championship. And I believe at 10 o'clock, they're also going to be showing the movie Dodgeball. So, it's special programming on ESPN2 today, celebrating the Ocho, ESPN 8. So, get your bunny hops ready for that there. And, your DVRs or whatever mechanism you may have to enjoy this fine extravaganza of ESPN's politeness to sports entertainment. Let's move on. The Pro Bowl will be presented by Verizon. It's going to return at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida on Sundays, January the 27th, 2019 at 3 p.m. The NFL has confirmed that there. Yes, they have. The presenting sponsor, Verizon, will be incorporating a numerous amount of elements of the Pro Bowl week and celebration events, having significant presence at Camp World Stadium during the game, including one-of-a-kind experience for members of the Verizon Up Rewards program. Okay, you got Verizon, goody to you. ESPN Pro Bowl will be presented by Verizon, of course, on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and also simulcast on ABC. It should be properly be on ABC. Okay? In addition to distribution of digital and audio platforms, such as radio coverage on the Pro Bowl, will be announced at a later date. And I think it's a doggone shame that, Hawaii is getting shut out again here. Eventually, always, they're going to return to Hawaii. And I just don't get it. Hawaii is one of the, and also Alaska. Why don't we have the Pro Bowl in Alaska? I'm truly there. It's only 37 miles from Russia. Come on. Check it out. Think about it. Now, the big news today, big news, I call it the big news. By the way, the Lions, speaking of football, I had practice in Oakland, Napa Valley, I should say. And they got into a couple of tussles that they could not show on TV. At least I couldn't find it, but I got the rundown by some friends in Oakland who's covering the camp and stuff there. There was a couple of fisticuffs and whatnot there. Goody. And I do believe that both teams will not scrimmage tomorrow. They'll kind of do some walkthroughs or what it may be, being prepared for the game on Friday night. I do believe it's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on the PM side for us to receive that game. I think it's on Fox, Fox 2. If you're in the metropolitan Detroit area. And everybody else who's listening to this podcast, check your local listings for seeing the Lions being played. Or you may not want to check your local listings. You might have something else better to do on Friday night. Like us all. Yep. The Lions are practicing the first preseason game. Oh, my. The NBA and the USA basketball were blindsided by Wednesday NCAA rule change in response to an FBI probe into recruiting-related fraud and ensuring the Commission of College Basketball report chaired by former USA Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, according to ESPN's Andre Wojciechowski. Whatever you pronounce his name. Here's the deals here. Among the rule changes announced by the NCAA were this. Number one, allowing players who participated in the NBA draft combine to return to college if they go undrafted, so long as the NBA makes the expected rule change of disallowing a player who enters the draft from becoming eligible until the next of their college season. Item number 2, granting high school basketball recruits permission to sign with an agent on July the 1st, entering their senior year, so long as they are identified as an elite prospect by USA Basketball. That ought to be a good one here. Except for the appearance of the NCAA not consulting the NBA, and we're talking about the NCAA, didn't consult them. And I think the National Basketball Association got this on a whim. And I think they're kind of left speechless right now. It's kind of like the NFL owners making that kneel rule there and didn't tell the Players Association. Well, I guess this is the same thing for the NBA. Didn't get the word from the colleges there that, we're going to do this here. And I guess NBA is saying, what happened? NBA or USA Basketball, for announcing these rules, they never changed their relevancy or never got the word about the PA stunt involving to attempt to avoid addressing the hotly debated issue on paying college athletes for their work. And that's one of the biggest things. College athletes have their jerseys sold, shoes of their liking sold, and everything else. College players don't get one red penny. And they want to change that. They want to change that ruling around where colleges, those players, who they go there, implement selling all those jerseys, making all that side money and stuff, get something out of the deal. Now, do that make them a professional? No, it makes them a sellable commodity that someone's taking advantage of that they're not able to get cashed in on, which is unconstitutional to my recognition. But as far as everybody else, it's not. So they continue on to bozo these kids around here, taking advantage of them, and it's not cool. Sooner or later, some players are going to put a lawsuit up there, and of course they'll take 5 or 6 years to get to the Supreme Court before they actually rule on it and make it fair or make it decent for the college players to collect on those commodities that they sell those likeness to in those sporting shops that they have their name, address, and serial number on, and be able to make a little dime or a little penny there to maybe buy a pizza, go to a show, or maybe buy a brand new 2018 Mustang. By the way, congratulations to Mustang, the 10th million Mustang rode off the line today. I'm still thinking of Bullet. I don't know. That's just me. Of course, on this particular subject, on the NBA, the MPE, Players Association, they want to negotiate on this particular ordeal first and foremost. And they will. They're going to want to have a say on this. So again, we have some rulings that basically right now, everyone was not brought into the picture. But what do the college players care? They want their money, and they want it now. Speaking of the NBA has already decided on some games going on Christmas Day. There were 5 of them listed, but I got 4 of them written down here: Boston and Philadelphia. Milwaukee will take on the New York Knicks. Of course, that's going to be probably the first game about 12 o'clock in the mid-afternoon. You have a lunch break or just cross your feet after a nice Christmas Eve. Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. And of course, the Utah Jazz will host the Portland Trail Blazers. That ought to be good, huh? On Christmas Day. And later on this evening, as we're doing this show about 8 o'clock and enjoying ESPN, the Ojo, and the dodgeball championship, as I'm monitoring it right now in my nice little studio here, enjoying every minute of this. Yeah, and I love this song. The world champion dodgeball, just like the movie, boys and girls, just like the movie. I tell you, you got to check it on out. If you get this podcast tonight here, check it on out. The Ojo is something else. Okay, let's move on with the Detroit Red Wings. We haven't said too much about the Red Wings lately here, but the Red Wings announced today that they're releasing their 2018 NHL prospect tournament roster. A team considered of 26 recent draft picks, free agent signings, tryout guys, and people they just let on into the camp because they love them so. The other NHL prospect teams will be announced according to what information I get, as will be according to the end of the week, because this Matthew Walsh Memorial Cup of NHL signings and potential teams, that's going to happen on September the 7th, Tuesday through September the 11th at Center Ice Arena in Traverse City, Michigan. And that'll kick off probably this upcoming Red Wings training camp for their kickoff of their season. Of course, you know Felipe Zdeno is going to be there, and Joe Veleno, he's going to be there, and Michael Rasmussen. Those were the draft picks for the Coach Dennis Cholowski also going to be there. Jelani Smith, he's going to be there. So those high draft picks is going to be there who have not made their parent club yet, that I can't understand what is the Red Wings waiting for. Are they still waiting to exhale or what here? But I'm just saying. You know, you can see those fine gentlemen there getting their opportunity to try to make the parent club of the Detroit Red Wings, which I'm predicting there's going to be some wholesale changes on that team. You think the Tigers were bad? That's going to... Okay, we're just rolling along here, boys and girls. We're just rolling along. We got about 3 more minutes left for this fine podcast here, as I watch dodgeball being played on the Ocho on ESPN. While I do this telecast here. Let's congratulate Kane. Yes, Glenn Jacobs is his name. His stage name is the WWE star is Kane. He won the Tennessee mayoral race. Officially, hasn't officially retired as a professional wrestler as of yet. Here, I'm quite sure he's going to make some hustle dollars in between being a mayor and also celebrating his Cox County mayoralship there. He beat a young lady, a Democrat named Linda Haney. I don't know if she's kin to Mr. Haney of Green Acres. I don't know. It could be. But congratulations to Kane there. He ran, and of course to all the winners and participants in the election in Michigan. And boy, there was a bunch of surprises there too. Bunch of surprises. The slate for Democrats in the state of Michigan are all women. Oh boy, that ought to be a good one. And some sensitivity will be designed for that one as well. I wish them well. I really do. I wish them very much so some well. Well, we're going to wind up this nice little edition of Butch On Sports on Over the Hump Day by some cherishing thoughts here. This weekend, Alan Trammell is going to be, not Alan Trammell, but Jack Morris will be officially commemorated at Comerica Park, and I think his name or his number is going to be flashed up in the rafters of the wall at Comerica Park, never to be wearing this jersey or jersey name ever again. And then a couple weeks later, we'll see Alan Trammell get his just due indeed here. I wrote an article this week in the Telegram News. I will go on to forward that on, I don't know here, on the game. So on Scott Nason's website there as well. I'm going to forward that there. I wrote an article in resolving that because I enjoyed the speech of Terrell Owens this past weekend. He was in the Hall of Fame, but he refused to go to Canton, Ohio. You know, and the reason is it took him 3 times to get in. Now, Terrell Owens was a doggone good player, regardless. He didn't get in trouble with dope or anything else of that nature. You know, no rapes or anything. He's just a doggone good player who loved attention, and he was one of the best receivers of the NFL's liking that I've seen in modern times. But it took him 3 times to get in the Hall of Fame. And he made a statement pretty not wacky at all, that, is food for thought. And that is the on-site media and their stupidity or the prejudice or all the above, some of them. And I'm not talking about all of them. We got some great media people here who does a great, great job. And it's filtrated by some people who basically think they're the cream of the creme. And they're not. They're just surviving. They're scared of us new breed media people coming in, just doing their job, doing things the right way. Instead, they find a line of sensationalism, or they don't like them because maybe they can get an interview in the locker room, or was put in their place on maybe a question and the way they answered it. It's stupid. But I wrote a simple article. It's called Just a Thought. And like I said, I'll forward it on to you boys and girls. Get a Telegram News tomorrow. Yeah, go get a Telegram News. Or, like I said, later on this week, when I do the next podcast, which will probably be on maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, probably, most likely, here. I've been doing podcasts like twice a week now, and maybe a special edition every now and then on a Sunday, which you can kind of look forward for that there, maybe on this Sunday because of Jack Morris, and we should have some decent audio highlights of that particular speech and all that good stuff there. And I'll go over the Lions' victory or loss and some other things that are ongoing. But, we'll get cranked back up in September, where we'll have our podcast at least 3 or 4 times a week. I apologize. If you want to hear more, just email me at simplybutch2@yahoo.com. Hey, Brother Butcher, we want to hear more podcasts. Okay? Just to hear it like that, and I'll get the message, and I'll do that. I'll do that for you fans. Okay? I care. Really, I do. I do indeed. With that here, we conclude another edition of Butch On Sports. Glad that you're with me, or I'm with you, and you're listening. Tell all your friends. Butch On Sports is on, yes, it's definitely on Facebook. Go to Butch On Sports' Facebook page, and you can get the podcast. You can also get the podcast by going to Podomatic.com. Just spell the name SIMPLYBUTCHTOO.Podomatic.com. You can also go to the Game Sports Show, which is basically on Podbean, and get that fine editorial along with the game. And also some of McCake's good stuff there. And also E.J. Russell special edition of the game. Did I leave anybody out? I don't know. How about me? How about Scott Nason? You can check out him. And also on YouTube as well. The game on YouTube. Scott Nason's page on there. Check out our stuff there. Hey, I'm out of here. Butch On Sports is always a presentation of Oh My Darling Productions. Have a good whiff here. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm watching Dodgeball on the Ojo 8, ESPN 8, the Ojo.